Why does everyone in the Big Ten become Iowa?
Everything evolves to eventually become a crab.
Ryan Day wanted the crab fight.
This team has two claws and he wants to snip at you with them.
He will play like the crab if he feels threatened.
All right, so first game was Texas at Florida. Florida won 29-21. And even though Alabama and Vanderbilt were playing at the same time, I was far happier watching Florida kick the shit out of Texas. I'm gonna really enjoy this segment because I hate Texas so much, but I'll punt it to John because I know you were also watching this game.
Okay, the first thing about this game, very excited that we can be done talking about Arch Manning for the rest of the year. I think that's gone, that's done. Nothing else. He actually had a somewhat decent game, but much
On
like
paper.
on paper, yes. But that dude holds the ball for whatever. I said I'm not going to talk about him, and I immediately started talking about him. Whatever.
Well, he's he's one of the quarterbacks in a football game. It's fair.
Yeah. I thought the script of this game was going to be much like some of Florida's losses, where the defense plays really well until the fourth quarter when they're just on the field for too long and they're gassed and they end up losing. But the offense for Florida played really well. I will say there was almost a Cristobal level game management disaster class from Billy Napier at the end of this game, and it would have been really funny if they had lost because of that. When Florida had the ball and was like trying to get a first down to run out the clock, there was a penalty and Billy uses one of their timeouts to avoid a 10-second runoff when they're trying to take all the time off the clock anyways. And that led to Texas getting the ball back with an additional 10 seconds. And I mean, they tried, they got to like the 45-yard line. They were in position to try and score a touchdown there, but just could not do it. Fun game though. Really fun to watch a team like Texas with a low number next to them lose to a team as shitty as Florida.
Yeah, okay. Like Napier was trying to lose at the end. I was astonished. It was amazing that he upset a top 10 team, and across the board everyone's like, we're still gonna fire him, obviously, but you know, we're still happy he won. But you know, he's done no matter what. Okay, wait, I'm gonna save it. Josh, what did you think of this?
All I'm looking at in this is, what does this mean? You know, we've been trying to like ascertain who's good and who's just, you know, having a good week for the first, you know, half of the season. And now I have no proof Texas is particularly good. They caught Ohio State and, you know, belonged in the same field as them in week one, but I don't think Ohio State was like as good as they are now. I don't think Texas, like, it's not fair, honestly. Like, I think about Arch, who is like the face of the team, fair or unfair. And it's kind of like the LeBron thing, where it's like, this is the chosen one, and we're like building narratives off of that. So when he throws a Sam Houston defender to the ground in the end zone, that's the clip that, and he does the flex. Like, that's the clip that keeps coming up. And I keep thinking, man, what an annoying story this is. What a fraudulent team they are. I can't believe we're spending this much time talking about Texas when I believed in them week one. They let me down and haven't done anything to disprove me from throwing them away since. And it just gets so frustrating that I'm like mentally exhausted with them. I'm done. Like, I have voter fatigue and I'm not in the AP poll. So to me, this feels like, oh, their season's over. This feels like we're going to have the Red River shootout and Oklahoma's going to win. And I'm going to say goodbye, Texas, for the year. And I don't know if this loss, with Florida having the good defense that they have and their offense struggling to score. Like, I feel like this is just like you turn the ball over one too many times. Like this, I don't know if this game tells me anything that Texas can't slop up another game and pull off a win. So like, I want to be done with them, but can I be?
Okay. I do not think this was a turnover thing. They let up like 15 sacks on their quarterback. Like, in Arch's defense, it was a horrible performance by the offensive line. He holds the ball too long. He does. Okay, and for someone as mobile as Arch Manning, he has the worst instincts I've ever seen in terms of avoiding sacks. Like, Jackson Arnold could probably teach him to avoid more sacks than
Hey,
he
I
does.
don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
Okay, there is a couple notes, all right? So Texas couldn't run the ball for shit. I think they were averaging like just over 1 yard a carry this game, which is horrible. On top of that, they just kept calling these really long developing plays. Like, I kind of understand why Arch was holding the ball so long, because Sark was calling really, 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 really long developing plays that were taking shots downfield, which were there, and Arch was missing them. But like, I just not the right game script. Like, in general, I do not think that Sark really protected him very much. And then on the Florida side, we have to talk about the Florida offense, because they suck, but they were good this game, and they were running the ball incredibly well on what is theoretically one of the best defenses in the country. So the big thing is Texas's defense not what we thought it was?
I don't know. I think Baugh is just good. They just didn't feature him very much in earlier games. Like, they did the thing that Kansas does, where the quarterback just has to be involved in the running game, whether he's actually getting much out of it or not. So I feel like just leaning into that feels like the correct decision from here on out. Let Baugh cook.
I mean, yeah, for as far as Texas on the offensive front, man, it's not good when your leading rusher is your quarterback and it's 37 yards. And I mean, that is not sack adjusted. So like 6 of those carries are sacks, but still, man, I mean, just brutal. That and again, I think Florida's defense is pretty good. So it's a function. I don't know how much of that is Texas not being good at running and Florida being good at stopping the run, but I mean, it's just a perfect storm for a team like Texas, who's just been so inconsistent on offense, to run into a team with a good defense and a bad offense that can put a game together. It's hilarious, man. Fuck Texas.
Yeah, it's tricky because Texas's offensive line is not really producing a good run game or an amazing, pass protection, but Arch is really holding the ball. Like on his play action touchdown pass where he's scrambling and he's got a guy in the flat, he holds the ball like literally till the last second to throw a wide open touchdown, like wide open. He is holding the ball way too much. And that's just objectively costing them. Florida's defense is good, but like, geez, like they're not like that amazing. They're not like
Yeah.
like the Iron Curtain or something, like where it's just impossible to get through. Frankly, I think it's sad that Lagway, a guy who threw 5 picks in a game this season, was the better quarterback on the field. And you know what? We should take a second and we should acknowledge that Lagway played pretty good this game. Admittedly, they were running the ball well, so he got to play a pretty comfortable game, but he did do that successfully. He did throw a terrible pick in the second half, and I have no idea why Florida was throwing the ball in that situation at all. But, Lagway played well enough that I see how Florida could win football games this year. I would say it's pretty sad that it took the team this long to figure out that they should run the ball, but they figured it out, So just to to adjust expectations, this is Texas's first SEC loss. Do we think that they could make an SEC title like a championship appearance? Their schedule's pretty easy.
Yeah, it feels like this is the type of game that if you're going to be losing this game, it's not going to be like a fluke. Like, you are going to lose to other teams on your schedule if you're losing to this Florida team. I mean, yeah, Oklahoma doesn't have John Mateer, but Michael Hawkins looked really good against a high school team in Kent State. So that's going to be a dogfight. They'll take care of Kentucky. Mississippi State is, I don't know what to think about them right now, but Vandy, Georgia, A&M, I mean, there are more losses on this schedule for them, I think.
Yeah, I think we're looking at a 7-win Sark here, which would be so nice. Also, just because we should acknowledge it, do we think that Arch will make it through the Oklahoma game? Because they put in the backup for one play this game on the final drive because Arch's helmet came off, and he played better in his one play than Arch did the entire game.
It was a 41-yard play in like the total clutch situation. Me and my friends were watching this game and we're like, do they need to keep this guy in for the rest of this drive? Like, I mean, it was a 26-yard pass with a 15-yard penalty, but still, that's productivity, man. That's efficiency.
I think it really depends how that Oklahoma game goes. And we've seen starters come in that and make a name for themselves onward. So if it's close, why not? It is kind of funny, though. We're thinking about backup quarterbacks for a Red River shootout. So that's cute. But I don't know. You want to, if you're going to bring in a new guy, put him in that situation. There's the Kentucky week, the Kentucky game the next week. So I'd be worried.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Venables is gonna he's gonna be drawing up some blitz packages. That's all I'm gonna say. So
I mean, they had 9 sacks against a team with a bad offensive line and a quarterback who holds the ball for too long earlier this year. So
yeah. Well, anyway, I think that was a good chat. Florida, I thought you might lose literally every game remaining on your schedule, so I'm happy for you. I hope that Texas continues to fail. I hope that Florida continues to fail, but fail less than Texas. That's all I'll say.
hey, credit to Florida. And speaking of a team that I think we all thought was going to lose all of its remaining games, how about UCLA, man? How about them Bruins? I really thought they were going to be on 0-12 watch, dude. And
okay, let's talk about this. So Penn State played at UCLA and lost 37-42. UCLA won 42-37 in overtime. Wait, it wasn't even overtime, right? Oh my God, I'm mixing up with the Virginia game. Okay, is this the worst loss of the Penn State James Franklin stint?
Yes, by far. Because there's like Michigan State in that one year, maybe. I think they got him that year. There's like, I think we talked about it with James Franklin last season. Like, he is an investor's dream. He will beat exactly who he's supposed to beat and lose to exactly who we think we should. And this is the one time where it's like, no, just going west is hard and we're not that good. We have no proof that Penn State is good. They're like Texas, but worse. Because at least they had Texas went and lost on the road in week 1 to a good team. Penn State was playing Villanova. And we're like, man, this Drew Aller kid, he's not really looking that hot. Like, I thought we'd get some draft buzz. I thought we'd get like, okay, this is the Penn State year. And sure enough, just nothing works. Nothing. Like, we're looking at them like we did Boise last year by playing close with Oregon. Which I don't know. This is really sad because I did believe in them. like I did think that, the way that they play would allow Drew Alder to make very calculated risks. They run a lot of trick plays and gadget stuff. So it's like, all right, like a lot of the game's not even in his hands. Like, I don't know where they go from here. Like, they'll be like, there's plenty of opportunities. Like, they play Northwestern next week. So, you can right the ship, I suppose. But like, there's just no excuse for this at all.
To
like,
be
if
down.
your defense, sorry,
Go ahead.
if their defense is going to be the basis of this team, and you're getting ripped up by UCLA, even with a new interim coach, you have better talent than they have. And I know it's on the road, and I know it's traveling west. That means you have a bad half. We were saying it was hard to like fire James Franklin because like the floor is so much farther down than where he has left to grow. But like, welcome to the floor, dude. What do you want?
To be down 27-7 at half to this UCLA team is hilarious. But in the second half, when Penn State started putting it together and trying to get back in the game, it was so impressive how UCLA just responded every single time. Like, after they score on their first drive of the second half, and then they block a punt, return it for a touchdown to get to 21-27. I was like, at that point, watching it, I was like, okay, cool. We had our fun. Penn State's just going to come back and win this. And then every single time they scored after that, UCLA just responded with a touchdown immediately. They had Nico looking like prime Vince Young, dude. He ran for over 100 yards. Didn't throw for that many, but like, man, that was a really fun second half to watch. Like, the first half was fun to watch as a hater, because it was like, oh my god, Penn State's just getting the shit beaten out of them. But then in the second half, it was just a really good back and forth football game. And box office, dude, love it.
Yeah, so I had to catch up on this game, so I need some context a little bit, because I saw the score. I saw they were down 20. I wasn't freaking out because I'm like, all right, they're gonna win the game. It's gonna be way closer than it ever should have been. But I thought Penn State would win. But what happened? Because they played Oregon to the end, like just a week ago, and then now they're struggling with UCLA. Their defense, which is supposed to be theoretically very good, and they have Jim Knowles, who's, I mean, pretty widely considered a very good defensive coordinator. Why do they suck? They were a deep playoff team last year that returned, I want to say, a fair amount of their players. What is the issue right now? What are they doing wrong?
I think that the new UCLA offense being coached by Sunshine from Remember the Titans, just they switched their offensive coordinator 4 days ago. And I think that Penn State just wasn't ready to defend the run in the way that they needed to, and then they couldn't get anything going on the ground themselves. I mean, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are two of, like, if you wanted to rank running back rooms in the country, that would be top 5 easily. And when both of them have 50 or fewer yards, I mean, that's just there's your problem.
Like,
Drew Aller's not good enough to do the entire thing himself.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't be the leading rusher. Like, this isn't how this team is supposed to be playing. And I think that's one of the downsides of being a crab team. Like, you have to play in a very specific way. And normally, if your defense is good enough, like, you can slop it up and kill the clock and drain the possessions from the game. And if you're the better team, you don't need to be better for 40 plays. You need to be better for 15. And that just was not the case. And then when they were trying to play catch up, they needed that special teams touchdown to like flip the scales there. Like they needed like to be able to like run it in from the 5-yard line. Like that's how they score. That's the way that they do things. So I don't know. It sucks being off balance. Like this is the, expanded conference. Like you're traveling a bunch of time zones to play a team on the other side of the country, and it's always going to be a little awkward. But they just got jumped. They just got jumped, plain and simple. And whatever adjustments they made in the second half were tough. Like, well, our next game we'll talk about second half adjustments coming far too late. But this is just another one of those cases.
Two questions. Does this change how we perceive Oregon? Because in my opinion, I had said Oregon should be number 1. They had the best win in the country by beating Penn State on the road last week. That was my opinion. Does this change that at all?
I don't think this game really affects how I view Oregon. And the great thing about that is we're going to find out next week when Indiana has to go to Eugene. I'm pretty sure that game's in Eugene.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll learn a lot about those two teams next week. I'm not really concerned about Oregon from this result.
Josh?
I think just playing on the road and playing across the country is so difficult. It's just hard to like properly like handicap your expectations in those circumstances. So I think it was just a really tough win for Oregon. And there's a difference between playing a team that doesn't know they're not good. Like, and I think Penn State still saw themselves as the second best team in the country. And they believe that it would have fooled me at the time. So I don't know. It's just a tough loss. And I don't, this has nothing to do with Oregon. They played well enough to win. And that's good enough.
Okay. And do we think of UCLA any differently, considering they cleared the cupboard and then they just beat Penn State? Do we think of them any differently? I'm not saying that they're going to make a bowl game, but I literally thought they were the worst team in the entire country. Do we now think they're not the worst team in the entire country?
Coaching matters, dude. And the element of surprise, I guess, on one side of the ball can really make a difference when the playing field is so level and you have these Power 4 teams and talent more dispersed, and a starting SEC quarterback on a team that we thought was another also ran in another power conference. So I will say this though, I think Nico might be in a better situation than he's ever been in. I mean, that's the best I've ever seen him play. Like he was incredible. I feel like this is what he's supposed to be doing. And that's the first time I felt that way. So it's nice to see somebody say like, all right, what is this guy good at? Because my system is less important than getting results. So if you have to, for whatever reason, if you have to go back to the drawing board, at least you can start off with what you know is good and with what you know a guy is good at, and what you don't know, you don't have to try yet. It's only week 1 of this.
John?
I don't really have anything else. I fuck James Franklin and Penn State.
No, I meant do you think of UCLA any differently? Like, do you think they'll be any better? Like,
yeah, I think I mean, number 1, they're no longer on 0-12 watch, which sucks. I think it's fun when we have a power school go 0-12, but I don't know. I think that whether this is just like the 1 week interim bump or whatever, but it kind of looks like they can win like maybe 2 or 3 games instead of 0. And that's successful, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you fire your head coach and then you manage to get a couple wins, I mean, you got to be happy with that. So we'll give you the slightest bit of more respect, UCLA. Um, I'm very curious to see how Penn State weathers the storm. They have Northwestern and then at Iowa. So that could be tough. That could be tough. We'll talk about it when it comes, but the Iowa game could be pretty tough depending on how. I mean, it's gonna be a crap game, but we'll see.
If they give me Mark Gronowski back for the Hawkeyes, they're winning that game.
Okay, well,
All right.
we'll see. We'll
Mark
see.
Gronowski is healthy. They're winning that game, and we're saying bye-bye to Penn State. Just FYI.
Okay, we'll remember that. We've got some time before that
Yeah.
that comes. Sorry.
And just a quick note before we move on. This is the first, I believe, top 10 team to lose to an 0-4 or worse team in like 40 years. Pretty cool. Way to go.
Yeah.
James.
Penn State and Texas don't have a Power 4 win yet. just think about it. We're halfway through the season. Neither of them have beaten a team in the Power 4. Anyway, we can move on. Next game was Iowa State at Cincinnati. Cincinnati won 38-30. In kind of a shootout, Iowa State fell behind and just too little, too late is how I would describe Iowa State's performance in this game. Josh, what did you think of this?
Well, Cincinnati ruined my birthday. Fuck them. But this is a really good win for them. They sold out Nippert. When we were talking about this game last week, I didn't realize that this was the highest ranked opponent that Cincinnati had hosted in like at least 5 years, maybe 9. Like, this was a big deal. They had a WWE event happening the same night that the Big 12 was like tying in with them. So like the energy around that place was incredible. From even I could see from home. So it's good that a fan base that needed a spark to say like, hey, we're competitive now, got one over a ranked team. Just sucks it had to be mine, man.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State has kind of been playing with fire for a few weeks now with like these close wins against worse teams, but like they just had always managed to put it together and ride Rocco and let Matt Campbell just coach well enough to get across the line. But man, that I was watching this game like in a restaurant, and the TV that had this game was like behind a wall, so I could only see half of it at any given time. So I missed most of this game in real time. But I did not expect Cincinnati to be able to come out in the first half and put up that many points.
No, yeah. I mean, before I jump into that, I want to note Cincinnati could be undefeated right now. If they almost beat Nebraska, they kind of should have beaten Nebraska if you think about it. So like, I kind of think they're probably better than their perception, and we're probably a little worse than our perception. And they ran the ball. They ran the ball incredibly well. Iowa State was on their backup corners, so they kept their safeties back because they were scared that their corners were going to be tested. And then only in the second half did they finally bring their safeties down so that they could, stop the run. I have no idea why we were scared of Brendan Sorsby tearing us up through the air, but we were, and I think that cost us.
Well, he did hit the dagger.
They did, but I'm just like, they ran for like 200 fucking yards in the first half. Like, at a certain point, we just have to trust that our corners even the backup corners, are on the roster for a reason. And we just have to believe in them to do the job. Can we talk about the fourth down? I thought Iowa State was going to come back and win this game and totally mismanaged it, okay? 4th and 1, they're down 22-31. They go for it. First of all, I have no idea why they went for it. They had so much time. They could have just taken the field goal, be down by 6, be 25-31. We go for it, don't get it. We gambled the whole game there. Why?
I was confused by that as well. At some point, they were down 16. and they score a touchdown and don't go for the 2-point conversion. And I think you asked why they didn't go for it. And at the time, I'm thinking, okay, we're doing our backup's backup kicker. And this guy had already missed one. So we're just getting him out there, letting him swing his leg, knock one through. And when we get to the short red zone again, you'll be able to hit this 35-yard field goal. Like, you can do this. You've done this before. We did it last week at the end of the game. So it's like, all right, we went conservative here so that we can afford to be conservative one more time if the situation arises. Now, they had been excellent on quarterback sneaks all last week. They literally Rocco had 3 rushing touchdowns from quarterback sneaks inside the 5 or something or whatever. And I'm surprised that they tried that knowing Dante Corleone's still there. He was active for the game. They ran away and around him the entire game. He was a big presence. And on 4th and 1, when you need a yard, can you get a yard? And it was really like 1.5. You needed something to go right. And I like being aggressive, but why weren't you aggressive the drive before this if you're going to be aggressive now? I think it's one of those things we get on Crystal Ball about this, like being really conservative out of nowhere and then being really aggressive at the wrong times. And I think that's exactly what happened here. I mean, ultimately, if you get it, we're not worried. But I don't know. When you allow 31 first half points, I feel like that's more of the problem than the marginal things you could have done in the second half.
Is it even a matter of being aggressive and conservative? Like, you gain nothing from kicking an extra point. You go for 2. Like, there's nothing to be gained. This isn't like I'm gonna be honest, Josh. What you said sounds like cope. Like about like the kicker getting the thing. I think he just totally just fucked up. I think we should have gone for 2. Like, I don't think there was any upside to be had by kicking an extra point.
My thinking is you're going to need, even if you get touchdown 2-point conversion and touchdown 2-point conversion, you're probably only going to have like 2 minutes left and need the kicker anyway. So I'm like, why not kick that field goal the next time you get down there? Because you got down there right away. I just think I'm like, if you make that PAT choice, you have to make the field goal choice after that. And they did one of each. So now I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm saying since they made that decision, that's what I would do if I'm going down this path. I wouldn't have gone down that path. I'm just trying to be like, all right, I guess that's what they're thinking. But
yeah, I have no idea. But sorry,
don't go down 16 on the road to a team that's sold out their stadium to beat you. Like, that's the answer. Don't allow 214 rushing yards in 15 minutes of play.
Well, I don't know why they were taking so long to move the safeties down just to stop the run, and then. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take a beat, John. You're more neutral here. Like,
I don't know, man. It just is one of those games that you lose, dude. It's
yeah.
I don't love that the Iowa State offense puts so much on Rocco's shoulders. Like, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I mean, 48 attempts is wild. And granted, I know a lot of that's game script in this game. Being down so much early, you kind of have to try and take the top off, but like, I don't know. I think that I agree with Josh that the marginal things in the fourth quarter, when you're trying to steal points here and there, that matters a lot less than, again, allowing 31 first half points. But the defense played well in the second half, I guess. I mean, they only allowed one more, but
yeah, they adjusted. It's just Yeah, too little, too late. What I'll say about this game, just like kind of final things, is like I think we saw good Rocco Becht, we saw bad Rocco Becht. Like I think he's honestly great. I think he's probably one of the best QBs in the Big 12. But man, does he refuse to throw the ball away at times. He never gives up on a play, like for better and for worse, and that could cost you. I thought he showed a lot of toughness. I thought he played pretty well. I just there's a more mature game in him that wins us this game. That's what I'll say. And then final note is, like I said, Cincinnati, you could be undefeated. I think people are sleeping on you. Brendan Sorsby, they have an offense. It's an efficient offense, and it's not a pretty offense, but it works. You can run the ball. You've got a really dynamic QB, and I guess when you need to hit the big play in the air, you can. So, I tip my hat to you. That's my final note for the game.
Yeah, dude, Cincinnati's like legitimately good. They were top 10 in offensive output. They blew out a FCS team or something like 70-0. Like previous Cincinnati teams were not doing that. And I was impressed with them when they won in Lawrence. I just thought Iowa State would be able to pull off the win, but no, like their offense is for real, and they are crazy efficient in the red zone. I think every time they've been in the red zone this season, they score touchdowns, which I can't imagine anything better than that. Maybe their kicker's bad, but I'd have to be searching for things to be wrong with them. So I think they have a pretty good matchup next week. I think it's pretty favorable. I don't remember exactly, but they're going to be a team to look out for the rest of the year. They're hosting UCF. So Cincinnati might be like 6-1. They should be ranked. They better be ranked, for the love of God. Please rank a Big 12 team when they beat a ranked team. And we'll see where the AP poll or whatever.
What that means is both Iowa State and Cincinnati deserve to be unranked because Iowa State lost to
Yeah. They're actually both bad. No one's good. They lost to Nebraska. Ew. Oh, God, dude.
John, any last notes before we bump on? All right, great. Just a couple shout outs, just a couple things I wanted to note. Alabama played Vanderbilt, hosted them. Honestly, I thought they might blow out Vanderbilt just because, I don't know, they're really angry at Vanderbilt because of last year, I guess. And you know what? Vanderbilt, I walked away way more impressed with their capability in this game. They lost, I think, 30-16, but that was kind of a last-second touchdown run by Alabama. It was a one-score game. Diego Pavia fumbled the ball twice in the red zone. That, those are 2 field goals left on the board, and Vanderbilt is very legitimately very good. And I have a couple other things about Alabama, but I'll let John get his licks in here.
Well, number one, I think that we need to open an investigation into Kalen DeBoer's potential alleged usage of the DraftKings Sportsbook app, because that touchdown that they scored with 0 seconds left was for them to cover. So I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I think the NCAA might need to step in and lay down some serious sanctions on Alabama. Probably should give them the death penalty immediately. But no, I think, it was just frustrating to watch, like, Vanderbilt, who is like, last year they were mean good, right? Like they stole the game against Alabama. They did all that. They were better than the standard Vandy team. This year, I think they're just actually a good football team, but it was so frustrating for them to continually get into the red zone and have a turnover and just not be able to put too much together on offense in the second half. It's just when your offense is so heavily based on a New Mexico junior college guy who is good, it's just hard when you're playing a team with the defensive forces that Alabama has.
Yeah, when they're actually pursuing plays on the backside of them, then yeah, they're actually pretty good, huh?
I legitimately believe though that like Vanderbilt's better than like LSU or Texas, which is crazy to say coming considering the seed. They're good. They're very good. They were leading in this game. I just think like they're a little, they need to be a little bit more buttoned up on offense. Their defense had to play a few too many snaps, and they just couldn't. They just got tired. They just couldn't play all those snaps against an Alabama team that's very solid. And I want to also note, Alabama, you're playing better than you were at the beginning of the year. You're playing much better. And I'm going to say this, and this is crazy whiplash considering what I said the first week. Ty Simpson, I think you're the best quarterback in the SEC. You're really good. He played great, dude. He played great. He can move. He keeps his eyes downfield. He can throw on the run. He throws the ball in the middle of the field and intermediate. Does a lot of intermediate throws. Provided I think it's kind of a overall weaker year, quarterback wise in the SEC. But I mean, who would I think is better? Like, really? Like, who do you think is better? A better QB? Like, I don't know. I'm like, I think he's the best one.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just like,
I was just thinking of who else I could say.
Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
anyone we had any sort of belief or awareness of this has made it very clear. Hey, I'm not good, so don't hold me to that. Like,
Ty Simpson's played great. He played good against He played good against Georgia on the road. He just played very well. They've got a groove. When they needed to control the game, like clockwork, he would convert on third down. I was really impressed with him. Right now, I think they look like the best team in the SEC. But that's all I had on the game. Vanderbilt also looked pretty good. And you know what? We're going to give respect to them because Vanderbilt, you are a ranked team. So Ty Simpson and Alabama, you beat a ranked team. I'm not going to retroactively take this away from you because it was Vanderbilt.
nah, dude, Vanderbilt goes to Texas at some point this year, and I would love for there to be a passing of the guard there. But I think that's more about me disliking Texas than me being like, oh, Vanderbilt, you're so amazing. So
It was close last
that's
year.
all. It was close last year, yeah. But yeah, you know.
Anything else on this? Great. Next game was just Miami cruising past Florida State. Score, I think what was 22-30. Ended one score technically.
28-22.
28-22. Yeah, so it ended technically on paper being close, but Miami really controlled the game, I thought, the whole way through. Florida State had to throw the ball too much, couldn't do it. Cristobal tried to lose this game through game management, but couldn't because his team is so much better. So that's all I had on this.
Pretty crazy box score to give up 19 points in the fourth quarter and score nothing for Miami. But I mean, that was like, I thought that Norvell was going for a coward's field goal at the end, and it kind of was, but they had like 7 seconds or something, only to kick one of the worst onside kicks I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, it's not a good year for onside kicks in general. That's all I'll say. No one's getting them. The only point of discussion to me is because I think Miami kind of was who we thought they were. Is Florida State do we think of them any differently? Because they lost to Virginia, who evidently is ranked, and then they lost to Miami now. So back-to-back losses. I projected them to be around a 7-win team, but I just wanted to ask, is anyone feeling differently about Florida State right now?
We'll come back to that in our pick to pop, but yeah, they're fine. It's just tough matchup. Again, you had Miami in the schedule and someone else doesn't. So
yeah,
okay.
Even being in the conversation for the ACC is a big step up. So, sorry.
Sorry, John, what were you saying?
I mean, Miami is one of the 3 teams that could be the top ranked team. Like, you could you could flip a 3-sided coin and be happy with any of them. And Florida State technically lost by 1 score to that team, so
Yeah,
shit
all right.
happens.
Next game was just Virginia beating Louisville in overtime. I just noted this because last week I said, Virginia had their Disney Channel amazing upset of Florida State. Everything came together. It was a beautiful night of college football. I didn't think it would translate to more wins realistically, and it did. So I just wanted to point out that I was wrong.
I did believe in Virginia for this
Yeah.
game, but again, it was more about Louisville. They're done, dude. I mean, I personally don't believe in them. I feel like they were in the ACC championship against that undefeated Florida State team, and they could have technically stole or whatever. I didn't think they would, but it's a different group of players, especially these days. And I thought last year, I'm like, oh, the way that they went to Clemson and really took it to them, I'm like, man, this is a team that is good enough to beat some of the best teams in the conference. And this year, sure enough, I think the same thing. They're good enough to compete and catch a good team on a bad day and pull off a win in a short conference schedule. But this is exactly what I mean. When they went cold against Pitt, were the last game that Eli Holstein started for. Sorry, I don't want to dogpile him, but they struggled against Pitt. I'm like, oh, there's blood in the water here, and a team like Virginia that just gets to reset after they know that they're capable. I knew it was trouble, and I would have felt right having this be a game. Having Virginia have an overtime win, I mean, it's a little too perfect.
And the play to win it was kind of sick because on the previous play, Chandler Morris has like a 12-yard scramble where he gets his absolute shit rocked at like the 2-yard line. He's trying so hard to get it in, and he gets hurt and has to go out. And Virginia's backup quarterback comes in, and they did like a sneaky little handoff type play, or maybe it was a direct snap. But while the running back is still in the backfield, the backup quarterback is selling like he fucking knows exactly what's gonna happen. And it's like, yes, dude, you are Virginia's backup quarterback, and you hand the ball off and instantly celebrate because you just won the game. That's sick.
I hope the state of Virginia, the DMV in general, has just one good team, because they're really good fans. They really are. They've got the Commanders, which fucking sucks for them. They've got Virginia Tech, which sucks for them. Maryland. So I'm happy that they have UVA and JMU sometimes. I hope this is a real improvement. Next thing I just wanted to point out, Texas Tech and BYU both kind of going under the radar. I feel like Texas Tech got a lot of chatter when they blew out Utah, but both just took care of business. I feel like they're probably the two teams that have to be the favorites for the Big 12 championship game. BYU plays Iowa State on the road this year. That'll probably decide at least one of them, but Texas Tech kind of looks like the best team in the Big 12 in my opinion. So just wanted to point out, like, quietly going under the radar right now, both of them. I think Texas Tech could be top 10.
I think the problem is they played undefeated Houston, and Houston was undefeated after barely surviving going west to Oregon State. So I get it. Like, there wasn't a lot of sizzle with this game, but that was a very substantive win. And speaking of substantive wins, like BYU, they play a very fun version of football. Their young quarterback slowly coming along. He is. You're shaking. John's shaking his head.
I'm not shaking my head at him. He is playing well. I just fucking hate that he wears 47, dude. That you're a quarterback. Have some goddamn self-respect and respect for the game. Wear a number like 7. Be boring. Don't do 47. You're a quarterback, dude. Come on.
No way. He has to
He is
keep
playing
it
well.
now.
He is playing really well.
and they have enough like trick plays in their arsenal on offense and special teams where they can keep the game out of his hands so that when it's time for him to take a shot, he's just like, all right, fuck it. Chase Roberts down there somewhere. Like Parker Kingston, still at still on like punt return, still in like an essential part of their offense. Like they can be explosive. They can grind you out. They play stingy defense. They have a great home field environment. I would love to see BYU and Tech play sometime this season. And if it just so happens to be in Arlington, it'll be then. So I'm very impressed with BYU, and I'm willing to talk them up if it means that we have another ranked team in the fucking conference. Jesus Christ. But that's all.
John, anything before we bounce there? Okay. South Florida not ranked. They've blown out everybody. They barely beat Florida. They blew out everyone else on their schedule, and they got blown out by Miami, but who hasn't? So why are they not ranked? And I just want to note their schedule is pretty favorable going forward. If you look at their schedule, they could easily be the G5 representative. They play North Texas, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, UTSA, Navy, UAB, Rice.
Rice is kind of good, and the North Texas game will be tough, but this will be North Texas's first game against like a really good team. Like if North Texas pulls this off, they'll be looked at as like a valid like competitor for the playoff coming from the G5. And that's the thing. Beating South Florida makes you valid, but South Florida right now isn't being validated. It makes no sense. They were punished way too harshly for losing to one of the top 3 teams, even at the time. And now it's like, oh, well, geez, it's going to be hard to take Arizona State and Notre Dame and all these people out of the way because they were overly punished before. So now South Florida has to jump somebody to be properly ranked where they deserve. And they don't have enough like impressive teams on the schedule that they can jump in like 1 week and be like, oh, well, yeah, of course. Like beating North Texas isn't going to move you up 10 spots, but they're 10 spots too low right now. So what do you do about it? Wait for somebody else to lose? Like, I don't know. I am arguing for everyone to be ranked. And I understand that not everyone can be. But I would advocate for South Florida to be ahead of Iowa State. I believe in them that much. They did all they could do. And Boise has looked good. Miami's looked good. Everybody they played didn't look good playing them.
Florida just beat Texas. They beat Florida. like I mean, transitive win, but you know,
about, dude.
Yeah,
like,
transitive, dude.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I agree with you. I'm very excited for this North Texas South Florida game on Friday. It's on Friday. There's probably not going to be another game on that's as enticing as this. I think it's going to be fun.
Is it on ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN 2.
All right, not bad. Yeah. They should be ranked. I do think that I disagree with you in that I think if they do just keep winning, they will find their way into as the G5 representative. Especially because they do have a high profile win of beating Florida, which is realistically going to be the only time that the committee would have seen them play football. So that's the best you're gonna
damn
get.
It, dude. Maybe, you know what? Maybe when the playoff rankings come out, they'll just say, well, South Florida was punished too hard by the AP. We'll put them there. We do get that clean slate. Yeah. So, well, we think that they're separate rankings. They have been very similar in recent years, but there is a chance to reset and get this right. So, I don't know. I won't hold my breath.
Navy Air Force, kind of a banger of a game.
Kind of banger, dude. I was listening to this game on the radio while I was like driving around town running errands and stuff. Back and forth. Navy, like what they're doing on offense this year is like what what Army said they were gonna do 2 or 3 years ago when they said they were gonna like add more passing to it. They're calling it like the split hybrid wing T or something. Their new offensive coordinator's running. But dude, they 340 passing yards from a service academy, like that's sick. This one receiver for Navy, Eli Heidenreich, had 243 yards, school record of single game receiving. He is I don't know, man. It's Navy's 5-0. We'll give him a shout out. We talked about the service academies a lot last year because both Army and Navy were good, but like, man, to go along with the South Florida, North Texas point, it feels like the American championship game is going to be a playoff play-in game, and there's like 3 teams or 4 teams in the American, maybe even 5 teams that like all have a shot to get in.
And Navy has the high-profile game. They play at Notre Dame this year.
Mm-hmm.
So if they just win that one game, Notre Dame, who is ranked right now for some reason, but anyway, point being, they've got the brand name. There's a path. I would love to see a service academy in the playoff, but I don't even think it's possible. So they don't play, right? They won't play postseason game. There's something like that, right?
No,
There's something
I think
with them.
They would. They just, it's weird for them because I think the final rankings come out like before Army and Navy play, so just the scheduling's weird.
Okay, interesting. Wait, so then they can't make it? Like,
Yeah,
theoretically.
it would be. Well, I think that like Army and Navy had never been good enough to even be in the conversation, so I was like, okay, this is weird, but like it's they're never going to be good enough to be in the discussion at the end of the year, so whatever. I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, I don't think Navy's going to like end the season in a potential playoff spot, but like they could.
I'm just gonna say this now. I'm gonna put this out there now. If Navy gets snubbed from the playoff because they're a playoff team, we're declaring the committee woke. We are tweeting at the president of the United States. We're gonna get him to tweet about this. They deserve to be in the playoff. The committee hates the military. They hate America. We're gonna go for it. All right. And
Cody Campbell's ads would have worked.
Yeah. All right. Couple just quick little bite-sized stuff. Is it time to fire Mark Stoops? He's been at Kentucky a long time. I feel like he's probably hit the ceiling there. They seem to be getting worse. What is everyone's thoughts on that? Is it time to fire Mark Stoops for Kentucky? Because he's an expensive guy to fire.
Yeah, well, they had that back when Kentucky was winning like 8 games every 2 years and like 3 in the in-between years. His contract had like a auto extend function where it was like if you got to like 7 or 8 wins, then another year or 2 would be tacked on to the end of it. So that's why his buyout is the way it is. But yeah, I don't think that the days of Kentucky being like a decent SEC team every 2 or 3 years is gonna come back. With like when they're a school like that wants to be spending their money on basketball to a very high level, like, and you're also not like the most moneyed SEC school, feels like football is going to suffer, and I think that's a choice that they're going to be okay with. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like the Mark Stoops era is long for this world at Kentucky.
But here's the thing, in NIL, don't you think they could be like better? Like Vanderbilt is pretty good. Like if Vanderbilt can be good, why can't you? You know, that's how I feel, at least. Like, why can't you just be a bowl team? That's all I'm saying. When was the last time they won an SEC game? Like, how long has it been? Did they even win one last year? I want to say they didn't. I think they've been lossless, like
because they beat did they beat Ole Miss or something?
Yeah,
oh, they might have. Yeah, they did.
Because Ole Miss farted away a playoff opportunity by losing to Kentucky.
I just want to say, in the era of Mississippi State being improved, Vanderbilt being improved, shit, even Arkansas's like trying. Like, I don't know. It's just Mark Stoops. I think it's time to say goodbye. And they were so close to Texas A&M hiring him away, and then they wouldn't have had to fire him. They were this close. They didn't get to do it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it definitely gets tougher because I think since the SEC is switching to 9 conference games, like there's one less shot to even buy a game to win. So it gets bad.
I'd be surprised if he makes it to next season. That's what I'll say.
It's one of those things where like the program and the administration have to decide, do we want to spend money? Like, do we want to pool the money to buy a guy out and start over? And I don't know if that's a priority for them, like you said. So,
yeah. Okay. Florida just beat Texas. Do we still fire Billy Napier? I know I joked about this earlier, but if Billy Napier made like a bowl game this year, would you still fire him? I know that's a big leap to make a bowl game considering their schedule. Or you know what? Forget bowl game. Let's say they win 4 to 5 games. Would you still fire him?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Congrats, you beat Texas, but like, it's been bad. I mean, Florida thinks of themselves as higher than that. Like,
they should be. They're in Florida. They're like in Florida.
He's already on his second chance right now, and like, if you're telling me you take your second chance in year 4 and you win 4 or 5 games with like what is your entire team, your quarterback who you told everyone was really good, like 4 or 5 wins in your second chance is just not going to cut it.
Yeah. Not to mention you're losing the state, dude. One of the best states you could possibly win, and you're worse than South Florida. Like, I think it's kind of over. I think even with a top 10 win over Texas, I think it's more Texas is bad. Like, it's not their fault they were ranked 9.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Florida, I let Napier go, and I go, hey, Lane Kiffin, you're a scumbag who would betray their team instantly. Come to Florida. He seems like the perfect Florida head coach. He's already coached in the state at Florida Atlantic, and it has been successful. That's just some direction for the administration from a fan. And then on that game, I meant to mention this when we were talking about it, but I just want to say ESPN was glazing the shit out of Arch during that Texas game. At the end of the game, they said he turned the ball over a few times, but we saw development from this guy. We saw flashes, like a valiant effort from Arch. Like, this guy just fucking sucked for like 60 minutes. What are you talking about? I just want to point that out.
Making a guy to hate. It sucks. Like, this is what it sounds so crazy talking about like, oh, sports media narrative, but like, stop showing me the Sam Houston clip. You're gonna make me hate this kid, and he's done nothing.
Yeah.
Like, please. I'm asking you kindly. I don't want to care either way. And you're making me hate on him.
And then pick to pop, pick to flop. We had done that earlier in the year, so I figured we revisit it. Josh, did you wanna? You actually remember what we picked? I think I generally remember, but please.
So before the season started, we wanted to get our pick to pop and pick to flop. Meaning like teams that would meet their expectations of what we think of them, and teams that would fall just short of it. The first team I think we talked about was Florida State, having gone winless the year before and transferring in another new team. It was really kind of up in the air what they would be. I think we said about, like you remembered, 7 wins or so would be a good year for them. And you two picked them to beat Alabama in week 1. So there was a lot that we saw coming. I'll say I didn't think that would happen. And Alabama was the team I thought they would be, just not in that week. So I feel like we were pretty right about them popping. I think that was like the 2 out of 3 like version of this. We didn't think they would compete for the ACC, and sure enough, not this year. Next was Nebraska. How do you all remember the Nebraska prediction?
I want to say I said pop.
I think I did too.
And to be honest, I think I did, but to be honest, I still don't know if we have an answer for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They played a close game with Michigan, but I remember bringing that up at the time. I mean, I don't want to just go down the list and be like, man, we were right. But like, we kind of did see some of this stuff coming. I think for them, we're still going to have to figure out who those back half of the schedule games are. Like, we talked about the importance of winning the Iowa game. We talked about maybe beating Michigan. We talked about catching up with Illinois and Michigan State, like they handled business this week. And we talked about another very important game. I said they cannot lose to UCLA. That will be demoralizing. And now we are in a world where if UCLA, the faces on the other side of the chat are hilarious right now, but we're in a world where UCLA has beaten better teams than Nebraska. What do we think about that one now?
We can't really say better teams plural. UCLA is 1-4.
Also,
good point.
I think your point is well taken. That the worst part about this Nebraska team is that they exist in the twilight zone again, where you don't know, they haven't definitively become bad or good. They're still doing that. It depends. If the UCLA game will be determined by how much they can reel in their fuckboy quarterback. If they can bring that back and properly direct his core douchebag energy, they will win easily. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Next up on the list, Louisville. I picked them to pop. I said popping for them would be like winning the ACC or getting close to it. How do we feel about that today?
I think it's still in play. Because they lost in overtime to, I guess, a ranked Virginia team. So, like, it remains to be seen is what I'll say.
Yeah, I think it's definitely still in play. They only have one loss. I don't think it's going to happen for him this year. I don't know what I
said back then.
Hey, dude, yes.
What did I say? Did I say flop?
I believe you said flop.
Okay. Yeah.
But I believed in Louisville. I think there was no room for... We thought somewhere between them and Florida State, they'd butt heads at some point, and one of them would lose out. Next, Georgia. Do you feel like a pop?
No, I do not. We lost to Alabama, but you know what? Actually, what's weird about the Georgia team is like I feel better about Gunnar Stockton than I thought I would. Which I that was the biggest question mark to me. The defense is just kind of up and down. We only have one loss to Alabama by 3 points, so like I'm not gonna be too negative, but I think I chose us to flop because a flop to me is not winning the championship. So, which is such a douchebag thing to say, that if any year we don't win the title is a failure, but that's where I'm at.
Well, I mean, because of the playoff structure, it's like they could go 10-2. We thought maybe the Florida game, the Texas game, the Ole Miss game, there's a loss somewhere in there. And I didn't count out. I think we all picked Alabama to lose that matchup at the time. But I don't know. They could still go 10-2 and I said be comfortably the 5 seed. And I think I think the difference is, though, I think there's a legitimate chance that you could get to a playoff game and have the better quarterback. And that's something I didn't see coming for Georgia this season. So that's, a pretty significant development.
Yeah, you know what? I should reframe it. I shouldn't say winning national. I should say winning the SEC championship. I think I want to win the SEC. I want to play Alabama and Atlanta, and I want to win. That's my standard. Oh, sorry, John.
I don't know what I picked. I'm gonna guess that I picked them to flop just as a hater and fuck Georgia. But I don't. I mean, it's still in play. The SEC championship this year is very likely going to be one-loss teams. I mean, yeah, you have a loss, but I think Georgia's actually good. Like, basically, just to repeat everything you guys just said, like, Gunnar Stockton's better than we thought he was. Georgia tried to trip over their own dick against Tennessee and couldn't.
It is funny to watch.
That one was big.
Yeah, we already have 2 losses, but it is funny to watch a team. It's Tennessee is to Georgia what Georgia is to Alabama. It's just like a direct chain of they fuck up if they're gonna beat us, we fuck up if we're gonna beat them. That's just what happens. There's a clear food chain in the SEC.
Our last team, Boise State. We expected some drawbacks for them this year. We did circle South Florida as a really tough week 1 matchup, so I felt proud about that. And we did say the Notre Dame game would be their chance to like make a big splash, and that has come and gone. Do we think Boise State can finish the year out and maybe win the Mountain West?
I think they can probably win the Mountain West. Well, they can go to the Mountain West title game. I don't know. I don't think that they would win it, but I mean, it just from a purely math standpoint, like losing to South Florida and Notre Dame doesn't matter for the Mountain West, right? I think that any idea of them repeating a playoff berth is gone.
Yeah, no, that goes without saying. I don't know. They're not a very consistent team to me, so I think I picked them to flop, and I picked them to flop on the condition that it should not take away from the previous season. But yeah, I think I was correct. I don't think they're gonna win the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Here's their remaining schedule: New Mexico, who's kind of good; UNLV, who's undefeated; at Nevada, who's not good; hosting Fresno, who's also 5-1. Well, who is 5-1? San Diego State, tough game. Colorado State, not a tough game. And then they finish out with Utah State. If Boise makes it through some of those big games and takes care of business against the bad teams, I would think they're pretty damn good. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I think getting through this and being 9-3 would be an incredible year and sets you up for next year.
That's fair. Well, they haven't lost in the Mountain West yet, so it does remain to be seen.
It's possible. And some of these tough games are at home, so it's on the table. So I think out of our Florida State, Nebraska, Louisville, Georgia, Boise State, was that 3 flops out of those 5?
Yeah.
And boy, can we pick them, because these were all teams we had to really consider. And it's nice seeing that some of these preseason predictions have either A, come true, or hilariously gone wrong.
Yeah, I did pick Clemson to win the national championship, so they currently have a losing record. So,
hey, they beat a Super Bowl winning head coach this week.
True. Not that we don't have to.
Right, we don't have to.
We don't have to get into it, but I just want to say, so I think there's some guy on Reddit who's tracking the margin of victory compared to Belichick's age difference with his girlfriend to see what, or margin of defeat to see what is higher at the end of the season, which is pretty funny. All right. Next week's games. We've got first. We can do quick picks here. First game was Georgia at Auburn. Josh.
Sorry, John.
Okay. John?
I've been wrong picking Auburn 2 weeks in a row, but I'm gonna fucking do it again. Auburn's gonna win. It's a night game in Jordan-Hare. That shit's haunted, and there's gonna be some dumb bullshit, and Hugh is gonna remember that the running backs are capable of accepting a handoff, and Auburn's gonna win.
I'll say Georgia. I think it's gonna be close. Georgia doesn't really generate a very good pass rush, and that is very important for Auburn considering they hold the ball when they throw it quite a bit. So that'll be relevant. And also running QB. We're not good against running QBs, so it'll be tough. Alabama and Missouri, sneaky hard game. John?
I'll take Alabama. And I'm not like dispatching Missouri without thinking about it. I think they're good. It's just Vanderbilt is a like really good football team, and Alabama's defense just clamped them for the entire second half. So,
Josh?
I can see what an upset would look like, and I think Missouri's coming off a bye right now. I'm gonna go bold and pick the home team to pull it off. I think they're very talented, and I feel like Alabama has had some emotional games, and catching them in the middle of the season after you've been rested for a week, I think they're gonna have something for them, especially if it's like midday. And this is like a big test because like Missouri gets kicked around by some of these other SEC powers, so this would be a real big statement.
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna pick Alabama because I think they have they got the quarterback play. That's my opinion. If this was a night game, I would be picking Missouri. This is a noon game, and also Tennessee's the week after. And this isn't Nick Saban's Alabama, so I 100% believe that they are looking past this game because they are not. Caleb DeBoer has not demonstrated the mental focus that is required yet.
Wait, so they had a bye recently, did they? Alabama?
Before the Georgia game. Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, wow, the SEC really is a gauntlet. You got to play Missouri and then Tennessee. So
And they play out South Carolina, then they get a bye before LSU. So they play ranked. They have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Iowa State at Colorado. I'm going to say Iowa State because Colorado is kind of on fire a little bit, but who knows? John?
yeah, I've got Iowa State as well.
I think they'll clutch it out. I like the performance from their corners. Colorado will use their wide receivers a little bit more than Cincinnati did. And I think that matchup plays to Iowa State's favor a little better. Just as I don't think Colorado's going to commit to running the ball as much as Cincinnati did.
Next game, Texas versus Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. You know what, Josh? You go first. You go first.
Horns fucking down. Fuck Texas. They're going to lose, and then I won't. Listen, I don't want to have to think about them. So I'm really just saying, please, Oklahoma, just do us all a solid. Figure it out with your backup quarterback. Make it happen. That's all.
John?
I'm gonna pick Texas because I don't know. It's a weird one because I don't trust Oklahoma to be good because I watched a pretty bad team like almost beat them in one of the worst games that I've ever watched. And I mean, granted, Texas actually lost to a bad team instead of almost losing to a bad team. But yeah, no, I think Texas is just better.
I'll also pick Texas only because I think that Arch won't make it through the whole game, at which point they will improve offensively. And also
Wow.
no Mateer. No Mateer. I want Oklahoma to win. If Mateer was playing, I would pick Oklahoma.
I don't know. Hawkins played really like
He played last year
They were-
too. I mean,
he played
So-
last year. I remember against Texas, and they were just so overpowered by like their massive like injury list. Like Texas defense was just smothering and then played that ugly game against them and still pulled it off easily. And I feel like for Hawkins, I feel like he's faced that defense before. I feel like he's not going to be, your average backup playing in a game like this. And, I respect the rivalry. I don't think it'll be easily done, but I feel like they can pull this off. I feel like Oklahoma can score 28 convincingly. And I don't know if Texas can do that every week.
Yeah. I hope Oklahoma wins, but I'll pick Texas. That's what I'll say. Next game, Indiana at Oregon. Saying it now, boys. Picking the upset. Indiana's going to beat Oregon.
Damn.
I kind of think Oregon is being propped up by that Penn State win. I mentioned it earlier. Like, do we reframe Oregon? I think a little bit. I think a little bit of being propped up a bit. I think Indiana will win. John?
I'm taking Oregon. I don't think that's a negative against Indiana at all. I think Indiana's a really good football. I think this is going to be a really, really good football game. I just think kind of a toss-up, and it's in Eugene, so I'm going to take Oregon.
Yeah, I think it's really hard going west, and I think that's going to be a real factor. Indiana got pulled into Iowa's game, and who doesn't, but I feel like they're going to be kind of struggling in this one, especially on the road. Just being on the road against a good team is hard enough. Making it one of those weird cross-country trips does not help. So I think it'll be bad for them.
Next game, Michigan at Southern Cal. Josh?
Oof. Sorry, come back to me.
Okay, John?
I want to... Man, this game really snuck up on me.
Yeah.
It's... I think I'll take USC. I mean, I do believe in Bryce Underwood, but he's really young. Jaden Mayava at least has a redshirt year. I think he's a redshirt freshman, but he's been playing really well. It's in LA, not that they have very much of a home field advantage. There's going to be probably half or more of that stadium is going to be Michigan's California grads. But I don't know. I'll take USC.
I'm picking Michigan. They can run the ball. That's as simple as that. They can run the rock. And if you can win at Nebraska, I think that's a harder game to win than USC.
I'm going to change my pick to Michigan.
Okay. Josh?
I think I'll go Southern Cal. I feel like Michigan will just need some explosive plays to happen, and Southern Cal is good at making them happen in ways that make sense. I think that they've been better against the run than previous years. I know they gave up a lot of points in that Illinois game, but there was a threat of the pass in that game. I feel like if they just sell out to do it, they should have had them last year, and I feel like they'll be able to get it done this time. Also, heading west.
Yeah, that is a theme. Kansas at Texas Tech. I'm gonna pick Texas Tech because I think they're the best team in the Big 12. I think they can handle Kansas, but Kansas has a puncher's chance, is how I describe it. Josh?
I'm going with the Red Raiders. I think Kansas will be impressive if they can put up points in this one at all. But I think Texas Tech wins at home.
John?
I've got Texas Tech. They're just better.
I just feel like shootout potential. Kansas can do it. They've got the QB. They've got the QB. Okay, next game and last game, Florida at Texas A&M. I put this on because Florida, you just beat Texas. Texas A&M, you play up and down, and you did beat Mississippi State, but I was not impressed. So, John, what did you think of this?
I'm going to go with A&M just because Florida's not going to sneak up on a team, A&M's going to be up for this game, and I think that's going to do it.
Josh?
I will say A&M. I think Lagway goes back to making mistakes.
I'm going to go Florida.
Oh,
I think they're going to run the ball. And A&M's offense, like, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like they don't have like a consistent way they score points. I feel like they get a lot of Marcel Reed, crazy explosive, like it just feels like something that's not like repeatable consistently. And then no one watched the Mississippi State game, but like they were not playing great. And they're also Texas A&M. Like they find ways to lose big games. Notre Dame ran the ball on them. I kind of feel like Florida might be able to run the ball on them. But the whole game hinges on that. If you can run the ball on them and force A&M to throw, evidently Florida has a pass rush. So I'll pick Florida. And I think that was everything for this week. That was a fun week. Halfway point of the college football season, and I guess we'll see everyone next week.